Well, this is fun. I'm having a standoff with a security drone. It was accelerating directly at me, and then it stopped this close. Ooh, scary. So, hello YouTube. That was a run-in I had with the security robot earlier today. That was so weird, and I wish I'd have started shooting video sooner, because right after I shot the little video, which I did as a snap on Snapchat, and if you're not following my Snapchat, you really should. Like that stuff actually gets posted immediately. Not that I post a lot on Snapchat, but I do on occasion. And should be a link in my channel about page. I think it's AZ Dan Dan on Snapchat. Anyway, yeah, the robot was coming directly at us, and I was with Priscilla. She was going to some kind of a medical appointment over there at what's left of Park Central. Park Central Mall, now, for those who don't know, is largely medical offices now. But anyway, yeah, we're kind of walking through there and trying to figure out the suite that she's going to, and she apparently didn't have much information. It's kind of frustrating because I'm very familiar with Park Central Mall, but I'm very familiar with how Park Central Mall used to be back when it was a dying retail mall. I don't know that there's really, I mean, there's some retail in there, but not inside what used to be the mall area. That's pretty much all medical offices now. But anyway, she gives me the address, and I pull in there and like looking at the address, we're going north on something like 3,000 something north 3rd Avenue. And so I turn north on 3rd Avenue from Thomas. Thomas is 2,900. So 3,000 or 3,100 north would put it just north of Thomas, and it was an odd number, so it puts it on the east side of the road. So that would be either something there across the street from the hospital, or is it the hospital, the big hospital there on I think it's St. Joseph's there on 3rd Avenue. And there's medical offices directly across the street from, but if I'm thinking like 3,100, that'd be a little further north. And the next street up from Thomas, street sign is on it. It's 3,000 north. So 3,100 puts it a little further north. And just north of there, there's a hotel. So I'm pointing at the hotel. I said, well, it must be there in the old mall, just north of the hotel. And she's like, okay. And she read the name of the hotel. I mean, we're going to a medical office, not a motel, obviously. And so we're going north on 3rd Avenue, and I turn right at Earl. It's a traffic light at 3rd Avenue and Earl, and then Earl goes into the parking lot of Park Central. And I drive forward in there, and we see a building that's got the same number as the address we're looking for. She's like, oh, that's it right there. I said, well, do you know the name of the place you're going to? And she's like, no, I've got the suite number. I'm like, well, okay. And so I'm heading north along the edge of what was the mall. It's now medical buildings. And she says, I forget what she says, but I'm driving and I'm heading towards what used to be kind of the main entrance on the west side of the mall, where you would go in kind of to the central area of the mall where kind of the food court used to be back in the day. And I figured, well, pretty much everything should, whatever suite we're looking for, there should be a directory or something. I would assume that's still the main entrance there. And I park directly across from there. I get a good parking spot literally directly across from there. And again, I ask her, well, what's the name of the place you're going to? Because I see some signs on the buildings and directly in front of the buildings there with the names of clinics. So if she tells me, I get her vision is really bad right now. She's had extra doctor appointments to work on her vision. Not that my vision is anything great, but I think it's marginally better than hers. I mean, I'm still able to drive. She's not, so there's that. Anyway, she says, well, she doesn't know, because I'm seeing what looks like a pretty major office. It's got like 4 names in front of it on a sign. So I'm thinking this, it's probably where we're going. And I parked directly across from it. And that door is like right by the opening, which was like the main entrance to the mall. By the way, in case you're wondering where I'm at the corner of Windsor and 17th Place. I left Priscilla over at the, oh my God, what is the name of that bar? King's Cocktails, where I had my gig like 2 years ago, where I hosted for all of 2 weeks. Kimmy and Tim are hosting there now on Thursdays. So this is their second week of that. Anyway, I was down to about 50%. I'm like, oh, look at that gorgeous old caddy. Can y'all even see that? I think it's a caddy. It's got historic vehicle plates. I can see that. Yeah, man, they don't make Cadillacs like that anymore. So nice. Totally on land yacht, but still freaking cool car. And I'm now on Cambridge. So anyway, I told her I was going to go park the car at a car charger. There's one actually there's 2, I found out, at the Omnia apartments, which are right there off the corner of 16th Street and Thomas. And I've been wanting to check those ones out since I got the car, like, 7-8 months ago, but I've ended up never going in. Like, I've always found better chargers. Usually I go to the ones there at the Abrazo Heart Hospital, which I've vlogged about many times, because they're just free. You just plug in and they work, and they don't require an app or anything. It's just really hard to beat a public charger like that. But I've been wanting to check out the ones at Omnia. Wondering if this is the same complex here. I don't think it is. I think this is a different complex here. I don't know. This might be an emergency exit for Omnia. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, I finally went into Omnia and tried to. I couldn't. I drove around the complex. Like, I zoomed in on. It says EV Passport, but the EV Passport app doesn't list it, which. No shock there. The EV Passport app is borderline worthless and doesn't list most of their chargers. I'm just not a fan of EV Passport, to put it mildly. Anyway, at least I know how to use their chargers now. They operate different than pretty much every other charging network. I do like this sign they put there. Something on Cambridge. In case you didn't know you were on Cambridge. Theirs are weird. Instead of opening the app and activating it from there, or in the case of like Loop chargers, where you open up their app and then you scan a QR code with the app to activate it. I think there's a couple other networks that work like that as well. Their chargers have QR codes on them, but there's no directions to really tell you what to do. There's just this charger number and a QR code. Like, you're just supposed to know what to do with that. And there is a place to open up an icon that looks like it would be for a QR code in the EV Passport app that you tap, that brings up the camera, but it just doesn't do anything. Like, I think maybe that's how they designed it to work, but that doesn't work. And somebody, I forget her name, but somebody actually messaged me, who has watched my YouTube channel as well, messaged me on PlugShare to let me know that she saw me trying to activate the EV Passport ones over at, oh my God, the car-free community that is so not a car-free community. It's just a glorified luxury apartment complex with a parking lot, even though I like to pretend they don't have one. What the hell's the name of it? Cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac. Like a cul-de-sac is a thing for cars anyway. Like, if they're wanting to be car-free, why would they name it something that is something that exists for cars? It's absolutely silly. Anyway, she had messaged me on PlugShare to let me know that she saw my video. Oh, there was one of those Waymo has artwork on the side. There's a lot of those now. They're freaking cool. I'm all for public art wherever it is. I'm seeing artwork on the side of Waymos, since Waymos are so prevalent out here now, has been a good thing for me. Anyway, she messaged me to let me know that she saw my YouTube video, was trying to activate it, and that you don't do it that way. And then she explained that what you need to do is on an EV Passport charger, which is what they have at Cul-de-sac, and have them in a few other locations as well. They're not like one of the top. They're kind of like one of the lower tier charging networks, but they do have level 2 chargers in quite a few places that I go. The ones I use the most from them nowadays are over at the short-term parking garages at Sky Harbor. But they do have they have one at the downtown Fry's now. That's kind of neat. They just recently added those. They also have the ones at Cul-de-sac. Well, anyway, they got some at Omnia. Just found those for the first time. But yeah, she messaged me to let me know that you don't scan it in the EV Passport app, which is how pretty much every other charger that has a QR code on the chargers works. And it's just super weird that there is a button for that in the EV Passport app. Like if that isn't why you do it, how you do it there, then why is there a button for that? Make that make sense. But anyway, on EV Passport, she said that you need to open up your camera app on your phone and use that to scan the QR code, and then the QR code will take you to a website, and you activate it from there, which is the only chargers I've ever seen that work that way. It would be helpful if there was a sign on the chargers explaining how to do that. They actually do have signs at Sky Harbor telling you to do that, as well as the new ones that they just added over at the downtown Phoenix Fry's. But yeah, they don't have any signs telling you to do that at Cul-de-sac or at any of the other places I've seen EV Passport chargers. But anyway, she messaged me and told me about that, and I was so thankful for that, because the next time I encountered an EV Passport charger, I did it that way, and I think it was probably at Fry's. And it worked just fine. Now, my luck with EV Passport has not been that good since. I'm convinced that 2/3 of the ones over at Sky Harbor just simply don't work. But as to whether the ones work over at Omnia, I have no idea. One of them, the space was iced. There was a gas-powered Kia Kona blocking it. And the other one, at least there was an EV in front of it, but it wasn't charging. Which, if you park your EV and use it to block a charger, it doesn't matter. The sign says EV parking. Like, that is for charging. If you're not charging, move your fucking car. Don't be a dick. Anyway, I think it was like 35 cents a kilowatt hour, which is, it's another third of a mile down the road to free ones over at a Brazil Harbor Hospital. So I just went on over there. But I'm glad I at least got some pictures of the ones there at Omnia. That one's been on my radar for a long time, and I've been meaning to go in. The profile for it over on PlugShare is just very vague and incomplete, and I think I got enough pictures and data that I can update it while I'm sitting waiting for my song. Give me something to do, and I love contributing to PlugShare. Of all the things I do these days, that's one of the things I enjoy doing the most. So anyway, back to my story with Priscilla and Park Central Mall. So I parked there, and then she starts like kind of chastising me, and she's like, well, don't park here. This is the wrong place. This is blah, blah, blah. And she points at the next building over, which admittedly has a different address. Now, I honestly expected every building within Park Central Mall to have the same address, but sometimes with strip malls like that, shopping centers like that, the malls, there might be portions of it that have different addresses. I mean, hell, the apartment building I live in has actually got 2 different addresses, and half the apartments have one address and half the apartments have another address. I lived there like for 2 years before I figured that out. Kind of an odd thing, but it does happen on occasion. But I mean, it doesn't change where the main entrance to the mall is. It just still seems like we should go into the main entrance to the mall, but she insists we need to go back to the other place. So I end up pulling out of this perfect parking spot, driving back to the other side. That's where we saw the surveillance robot. Anyway, long story short, since I'm just about to the bar, the medical office that we were going to was the one with the sign and the door directly opposite where I parked. Oh, God, it's I The only thing worse to me than being wrong is being confidently wrong. And she was just so confidently wrong in telling me that I was wrong when in fact I wasn't. I hate shit like that. Anyway, the robot thing was fun. Hope you all enjoyed that part of the video. And thanks for watching. I'm going to go and sing me some karaoke.